Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle and I'm Elvis last year on YouTube. We're going to have a look at Elvis, A Generous Heart. It's on YouTube, so let's get cracking straight into it. I'll put it aside so you can watch it with me.
We were in Jackson, Mississippi, and he got word that a little boy in the hospital was dying, and that he wanted to see Elvis, and he couldn't make it to the show. He was too sick to get to the show, and so we loaded up in cars and we went to the hospital. And Elvis was wearing Elvis met this little boy and talked to him, and he was wearing a cross that was made of garnets. And he took it off and he gave it to this child. And it was a real touching moment, just an hour or so before the show.
When my wife was, 9 or 10, and her sister was maybe a couple of years older than that, they would go down to Graceland and in the hopes of seeing Elvis. And they would go down there almost every weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and many times he would actually come down to the gate and shake hands and talk to people, and he did it often. Sometimes he did it by himself. Sandra remembers one time he actually came down riding a horse and was talking to him, and that just made their day, you know, and it just, again, shows the type of person that he is, that he would do that.
When Elvis started getting that money in and started becoming, he wanted to share it. He was a sharing person. And his dad got in early confrontations with him about giving so much away. He would say, son, you know, we're pretty wealthy, but man, you're giving people houses. And you're giving guys on television you don't even know Cadillacs, and people walk off the street in a dealership, you buy them a Cadillac, and pretty soon the bank account is going to take a hit. And Elvis would say, look, Dad, he said, look, I enjoy giving stuff away to people. He said, that's how I get my enjoyment. He said, I can go out and do a tour. He said, I can do a tour in 6 weeks and make $2 million. He said, I'm not worried about money. He said, I want to make people happy.
For all of Elvis Presley's accomplishments, I think his greatest joy, other than Lisa Marie, was giving to others. He loved to see the smiles and the looks on people's faces when he gave them things. He really was a generous and kind man.
The true measure of a man's success is not what he achieves and acquires for himself in his lifetime, but what of himself he gives to others. Elvis Presley touched the lives of millions and millions of people the world over. With his music, his movies, and his live performances, Elvis brought joy to the hearts of people everywhere. And even today, over 3 decades after his untimely death, Elvis's music and his legacy continue to have a lasting and profound impact on music and popular culture around the world. And yet, for all Elvis's phenomenal success as an entertainer, perhaps the King's most endearing quality and the greatest of his legacies was his enormous generosity to others who were less fortunate than he was.
I always felt like he tried to give back to his fans more than he took from them. And whenever he gave a piece of jewelry away like on the stage, when he take off a ring and hand it to a fan, it was just an act of love on his part. He just loved his fans, and they're what made him work, and why he worked so hard was his fans. He loved his fans.
We had a guy in a group named Richard Davis, who was kind of he'd been with Elvis, he'd been in the Memphis Mafia, he'd been Elvis' stand-in in a bunch of his movies, Memphis guy, was a record promoter, and he was down on his luck. And Elvis heard about it, and he sent for him. He said, Richard, I hear you down on your luck. And holidays were approaching. He said, yeah, Elvis. Elvis gave him a brand new Cadillac convertible and $10,000 cash. So maybe this will help you out. And he said, thanks a lot, Elvis.
On March 25, 1961, Elvis performed a benefit concert at the Block Arena at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. This performance raised over $65,000 toward the building of the USS Arizona Memorial, which was completed the following year. This donation made Elvis Presley the single biggest individual donor to the Pearl Harbor Memorial. In 1975, at a concert in Asheville, North Carolina, Elvis went on stage wearing a huge opal and diamond ring on his finger. This ring was reportedly worth between $35,000 and $40,000. During the concert, Elvis saw a little girl in the front row who was sitting in a wheelchair. He took the ring off his finger and gave it to the little girl. There was no publicity about this, just the enormous satisfaction that Elvis got from seeing the look on the little girl's face. Elvis reportedly bought close to $700,000 worth of jewelry in the last 5 years of his life, most of which he gave away.
I was sitting by the stage, and he came over to me and he says, he leaned over and he says, "Where's your case?" And he's up there singing, "Where's your case?" And I said, "It's right here." He said, "Set it up here." I set my case up on the stage, and he just got jewelry out of it, and he was giving it to people on the people on the front row and he was just giving away all this jewelry. The difference in Elvis and everyone else was that he obviously loved his fans. He was so honest. You just didn't doubt that he was pure as a driven snow. He was just a good person, and people knew that. His fans knew that.
Elvis's great spirit of generosity, giving, and compassion for those less fortunate than him lives on to this day. Former wife Priscilla Presley and daughter Lisa Marie Presley continue Elvis's philanthropy and honor his memory through the Elvis Presley Foundation. The foundation supports charities and community programs such as Presley Place, which provides homeless families up to 1 year of rent-free housing, child daycare, career and financial counseling, family management guidance, and other assistance to help people regain their independence and self-esteem. In 1983, the Elvis Presley Memorial Trauma Center was established at the Regional Medical Center in Memphis. It has served over 80,000 Level 1 trauma patients from a 6-state area. Indeed, there is no greater gift one person can give another in this world than to give of himself. And for all Elvis has given the world through his incredible body of work, his greatest legacy to his millions and millions of fans was his kindness and his generous heart.
He liked to see the enjoyment, because when a guy gives you a new Cadillac or gives you a house or gives you a free trip to Hawaii, you become elated, and that made him feel good. He didn't play golf, he didn't fish, he didn't hunt, all that stuff. And to give stuff away and make people happy, that's what he enjoyed.
You know I can be fine, sitting no more alone.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Isn't that just a gorgeous little segment from A Generous Heart? Now, I've seen that before. It's just amazing. It's been a long time since I've seen it, mine, so it just hits home again. Elvis was so precious and so beautiful as a human being, and that's it. He hit the nail on the head throughout it, just saying, like, he's just a really good guy, like a really good guy, and his fans knew it, and that's right, we do. And I think that's why Elvis has outlived so many other people and will outlive every star, because his generosity to his fellow man is just insane. And as fans, we know how precious he was, a gift to the world. I just love it. Lowell Hayes is such a sweetheart. I love Lowell, how he was speaking it, and he just kept bringing it back. This is the fans. This was for the fans. And it was also for Elvis. It made him feel good. And how blessed are we that we love someone who felt good by giving. Isn't that just glorious? You can hear the cracks in my voice because it's a very emotional thing to talk about. I absolutely love Elvis Presley. I love his generous heart. And he is a definite beacon of light for everyone, and we can all learn from him. For example, Leslie Pillen, who runs the foundation, Circle G Foundation, recently gave a great donation to Crohn's, and that was about Richard Davis, who was mentioned in here, about his children who suffer with Crohn's. and it lives on. My Edinburgh Elvis dance, we used to give donations. Glasgow Edinburgh dance used to give donations. I know that it continues on through Elvis, and I just think it's beautiful because the fans know that that's what would have made Elvis happy. Yeah, I love it. I love everything about Elvis, A Generous Heart, and this is what I would love to send out to the world, to let them know who Elvis was as a person. That's it. That's him. Alright, thanks for joining me. Take care of yourself and have a fantastic day. Bye everyone.